Good day, sir. I'm Ala Fernandez Amara, and what I learned about this subject, logical forms of categorical syllogism, which are the figures and moods. Now come to logical forms of categorical syllogism, which are the figures and moods. In logic, a categorical syllogism consists of three categorical propositions: a minor premise, a major premise, and a conclusion. So each proposition is a statement about the relationship between two categories or classes. In the figure of categorical syllogism, refers to the replacement of the middle term in the premises. So there are four figures, each determined by where the middle term appears in the premises. In the first figure, the middle term is the subject of the premises and the predicate of the minor premise. So subprem. In second figure, the middle term is the predicate of the both premises, predicate and predicate. And in the third figure, the middle term is the subject of the both premises, subject and subject. And lastly, in the fourth figure, the middle term is the predicate of the major premise and the subject of the minor premise, predicate and subject. So, in moods of categorical syllogism, categorical syllogism can be classified into the four mood types: A, E, I, and O. A stands for the universal affirmative, and E stands for universal negative, I stands for particular affirmative, and O stands for particular negative. So these moods refer to the arrangement of categorical proposition within the syllogism. The moods of categorical syllogism consist of the classification of the premises according to the quality and quantity. There are 16 possible arrangements of the premises according to the quality and quantity, but only the following are valid. In the major premise, the A, E, I, and O. In minor premise, A, E, I, and O also. But note that not all these moods are valid in every figure. So, in the first figure, the middle term is the subject of the major premise and the predicate of the minor premise. Subject and predicate. In moods of first figure, the major premise are A and E. In minor premise, the moods are A and I. The conclusion is A, I, E, and O. So, the four types of moods are present in the conclusion of the first figure. So, the rules of first figure are: first, the minor premise must be affirmative to avoid an illicit major when the minor premise is made. And in the second rule of first figure, the major premise must be universal, otherwise violation of undistributed middle term will be committed. Example, every cat is an animal, but no dog is a cat. Therefore, no dog is an animal. As you can see in the conclusion, therefore no dog is an animal, the middle term is not present in the conclusion. It can be only seen in the major premise and the minor premise. So, in this example, the middle term is the cat. In the major premise, the cat is the subject, and in the minor premise, the cat is the predicate. So, it is considered as the first figure. So, in moods, every cat is an animal. So, every cat is a universal affirmative, A. In the minor premise, but no dog is a cat. No dog. So, it is a universal negative, E. And the conclusion, therefore no dog is an animal, no dog is an animal is a universal negative. So, when we have to compare it in the mood, in the first figure, Every cat is an animal. Major premise is A, is correct, but no dog is a cat. E, minor premise consists of A and I. So it is invalid mode of syllogism. And in the example, as we follow the rules of first figure, the minor premise must be affirmative. No dog is a cat. It is a universal negative, so it is illicit major. Let's now come to the second figure, which the middle term is the predicate of both premises. And the mood are the major premise, universal affirmative A, universal negative E. In minor premise, I, A, O, E, all the moods are present. In conclusion, only the universal negative and particular negative, which is E and O, are present. So rules in second figure, in first, one premise must be negative to avoid the fallacy of undistributed middle term. And the second, the major premise must be universal, otherwise violation of illicit major term will be committed. Example, all mammals are viviparous, but some fish are viviparous. Therefore, some fish are mammals. So, the middle term in this example is viviparous. In the major premise, the middle term is in the predicate, and in the minor premise, the middle term is also in the predicate. So, as we compare it into the moods, in major premise, the all mammals are viviparous is universal affirmative A. In the minor premise, but some fish are viviparous, some is considered as a particular affirmative I. Okay, it is valid. So, in the conclusion, some fish are mammals. So, some is, like what I've said before, some is particular affirmative. So, it is invalid because in moods of in the conclusion, it is only the universal negative and universal affirmative. Particular negative. In rules of second figure, one premise must be negative to avoid the fallacy of undistributed middle term. One premise so must be negative. So it is the fallacy of undistributed middle term in the example of all mammals are viviparous because the premise of the major and minor premise are all affirmative. Okay. So it is considered as the fallacy of undistributed middle term. In the third figure, the middle term is the subject of the both premises, which is the subject and subject. In mood types, the major premise is A, I, E, and O, and minor premise is A and I, which are the A is universal affirmative and particular affirmative, which is I, and conclusion are I and O. So, in the rules of third figure, the minor premise must be affirmative to avoid the fallacy of illicit major. The conclusion must be particular. If not, the violation of this rule gives the rise to the fallacy of illicit major. So, in the example, Socrates was philosopher, but Socrates was a Greek. Therefore, some Greek was a philosopher. So, in this example, the middle term is Socrates. In major premise, the Socrates is the subject, and in a minor term, the Socrates is also a subject. In moods, the example, the major premise, which is Socrates was philosopher, it is in major premise it is a universal affirmative. So it is valid in the major premise. In minor premise, Socrates was Greek, A. Universal affirmative. And in the conclusion, therefore, some Greek was a philosopher. So some is I. So overall, the example is a valid mood. And in as we compared it into the rules of third figure, the minor premise must be affirmative. So minor premise, Socrates was a Greek. So Socrates was a Greek. It is a universal affirmative. So it is valid in the first rule of third figure. And the second, the conclusion must be particular. So some Greek was a philosopher, some is a particular, so it is a valid in the rules of third figure. And the fourth figure, the last figure, the middle term is the predicate of the major premise and the subject of the minor premise. So in moods, it is the A, I, E, and minor premise, A, E, I, and conclusion, E, E, O. So in rules of fourth figure, if the major premise is affirmative, the minor premise must be universal to ensure the avoidance of the fallacy of the undistributed middle term. So if the minor premise is affirmative, the conclusion must be particular, otherwise violation of illicit minor term will be committed. If one of the premises is negative, the major premise must be universal to avoid the illicit process of the major term, since it is the subject of the major premise and predicate in the conclusion. If the one premise is negative, the conclusion must be negative. Now, if the major premise is not universal, consequently, its subject, which is the major term, is particular. So this leads to the illicit process of the major term. So in fourth figure, the example is no person under 18 years of age is a voter. So, but some voter are university student. Therefore, some university students are not under 18 years of age. So, in this example, the middle term is voters. In mood types, the major premise, no person under 18 years of age is a voter, is considered as universal negative, and but some in my major premise, in minor premise, some voters are university student. It is considered as particular affirmative. So in therefore, some university students are not under 18 years of age. Some university, it is considered as O. So my major premise is E, the minor premise is I, and the conclusion is O. So it is in a valid mood. So let's now come to the rules. As we follow the rules, if the major premise is affirmative, the minor premise must be universal. Major premise, no person is under 18 years old. So it is affirmative. The minor premise must be universal. Minor, universal. The sum is not a universal. So it is the fallacy of undistributed middle term. So that's all for what I learned about your subject, sir. Thank you po.